Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Today's class is going to be the towel series, and this is the first one of a series of a few. And you're basically going to be just needing a towel. So I have one like this, and it's just folded in half. And today's going to be a fairly easy start to the towel series because we're just going to be focusing on range of motion. For some of you, this might be easy, and for some of you, this might be still challenging. But you can see how it feels in your body. Okay, so you're going to use your towel, and we're going to start with the legs. So have your knees bent like this, and one foot on the towel. Now, I can lean back against my sofa if that feels more comfortable on your back and your body, or I can scooch a little bit forward, tent my fingers, and put them behind me with my arms nice and straight so that my chest is a little bit lifted and I feel my core bracing. Or you can challenge yourself by bringing your hands on the opposite knee or completely taking your hands off. Okay, seeing which one feels the best for you as we go through this range. I'm going to choose this one with my hands behind me to keep my spine nice and lifted. So we're just going to start with a simple straightening the leg, pulling the toes back towards the face, and then dragging the heel back towards your buttock. Okay, we're going to do about 5 or 6 of each. So try and move nice and slow with control. So really pull the towel back towards you with your heel and push it away. So you use that sort of energy that the floor is giving you, or that you're actually using with it to create just a little bit of tension. Okay, so after 5, legs stay straight, and from your hip joint, you're going to rotate your leg out. Okay, so now my whole leg is pointed out and my toes are out. Okay, keeping it turned out, I'm going to again bend and straighten the leg about 5 times. And now this outer edge of my heel is down on the ground, so I can gently just kind of use that to drag forward as I push it, and then backward as I pull. Okay, and then after 5 of those, again, come to straighten out your leg. Now you're going to rotate your hip bone in. Okay, this one feels often uncomfortable for a lot of people. So if it feels like it's starting to cramp, maybe just back off and shake it off. Cramping is not a bad thing. Okay, so just rotate it in as much as your hip bone will allow you to. And then again, start to bend and straighten the leg. Okay? And like I said, this one, since it has a bit more of an issue with people being able to rotate their hips in, it might feel clicky or weird on the knee. If it does, just back off, find your sweet spot of what feels good, and then just stay in that range. Okay, so again, 5 like that. And then go ahead and switch to the other side. So maybe this time you want to find a different position for your arms. So I'm going to choose this position. I'm still sitting up nice and tall. Being more upright is going to make me use my hip flexor more. Okay, so you can switch back and forth from different positions as necessary. Now remember to also include your ankle here. So I'm really pulling my toes back and then bringing my foot down like that. Same thing here. Good, and now turn the leg out at your hip joint and bring it in and push it out, using that lateral heel to pull it towards your butt and push it away from you. Good, and now rotate the hip bone in Okay, my inner heel is now pressing down into the floor. And again, I'm working in a range that feels comfortable for my hip, for my knee, for my ankle. Because the last thing you want to do is push a joint or anything into a position that feels super intense and very uncomfortable. All right, so that was the leg warm up for the hip and the ankle. Now we're going to come back to your right leg. Again, keeping the knee bent. This time, if you're leaning back against the sofa, that's fine, but you're still going to grab your hands and put them on your knee, maybe like directly underneath your kneecap. Okay, so you're going to interlace your fingers and put them there. All right, now from here, you're going to bring your foot in and turn your foot out. Okay, in and out like that. The reason why I have my hands here is because your body's going to want to cheat if there's not enough range of motion at your ankle by moving your leg in and out like this, okay? So I'm purposefully blocking that motion by hugging it tight to my chest, and I'm only letting my foot rotate, okay? Almost just like a mini swivels on the floor. Okay. Now, to add a little bit of more technique to it, if you wish to try it, as you bring the foot in, like so, try and keep the mound of your big toe down on the floor, okay? When you do that, you're going to see and also feel the arch of your foot lift up. All right, so I think we did way more than 5. Let's try the other side. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, not letting my leg move, just my ankle. Okay, allowing the foot and ankle to rotate in and out. And just noticing, just kind of comparing how it feels and also what it feels like right to left. Okay. If you've ever had a foot injury or if you sprained your ankle, it might feel different one side versus the other. Just being aware of that. All right, awesome. We're going to do one more of the legs. So you're going to come to lay on your stomach and have the towel a little bit lower here so that you can put your leg on it like so. Okay, and then stay close to the edge of your mat. If you're using a mat, come down onto your forearms, put your head down. You don't have to look at your leg that's going to be moving and turn your head to the side. You can have your forehead just straight down. So you're going to bring your knee up to your chest and then press it back. Knee to the chest, press it back. Try not to let your other leg kind of move side to side, okay? So if you need to tuck your toes, that's fine. Okay, the reason being is that if this leg moves side to side, it's also kind of getting into a range of motion that you want to kind of lock in place. And one more. Good. And then from here, we'll do the other side when we flip to the other side, but go ahead and bring the towel by your hands next, on your left hand, since we just did that side, or whatever side you just did. Okay. And again, forehead can be straight down, and you're going to start at the side of your body, palm down, and then swoop it over your head, or until the joint stops you. Okay? So while you're doing this, just kind of consider the motion of shrugging your shoulder up to your ear. You want to try and limit that sort of upward shrug towards your ears. So imagine like you have really sparkly, dangly earrings, if you were wearing those, that are pretty long. And you want to keep those on showcase by keeping your shoulder blades, or just the one shoulder blade, kind of pulling downwards as you go over your head. All right, and then on this one, go ahead and stop over your head. Bring the hand to your shoulder or underneath your shoulder in line with it. Elbow goes up. My wrist is bent. You might feel a bit of a nerve stretch. That's okay, because we're just going to move in and out of the stretch. Okay? So nerves don't like to be put on full tension and be held there. That's not the greatest thing. But it's okay if we put a little bit of tension and then slowly release again. And one more. And then let it go. Good. And then come on up onto all fours. And make your way to the other side. So on your stomach, we're going to start with the leg. Forearms come down, head goes straight down. And you're going to start to bring your knee up towards your chest and back down. Okay, again, trying not to let the other leg kind of move side to side. So if you need to tuck it, the toes, that's fine. Doing a couple more. And this time, keep your towel coming upwards. Start with your other hand at your side, palm down. And again, you can use that sort of energy into the floor to just gently press down. Remembering, trying not to shrug the shoulder up as the arm comes up. Okay, so at about this point here is usually when people will start to shrug up. So be maybe even more mindful as to what is happening up here. And again, going a couple more times. And then when you get to the top, go ahead and bring the elbow and the hand at about like 90 degrees. Wrist bends and then straighten. Good. And then go ahead and come up. I'm just going to turn my body around because I have a bit more space here. But you can stay where you are. And I just folded my mat in half so I have a bit more room. And now coming onto your hands and knees, this time I'm opening up my towel fully. Both hands on the towel. Keep your butt back towards your heels as much as possible. And then start to reach forward with your arms. And then come back up. So to create a little bit more intensity here, I'm pulling the towel apart with my hands, okay? Not grabbing it and pulling it, but I'm like pulling it apart with my hands nice and wide. Okay, my fingers are nice and wide, and then I'm also pressing down into the floor. So again, same thing like you did with the heel, you were pressing it down as you were sliding. I'm pulling the towel apart and pressing down into my hands. And when you do that, you should feel a bit of muscular activation in the back of your arm, in the back of your shoulder, and in the shoulder blades, which is where you want that sensation to be. Okay? And if it feels better on your shoulder to have your hands like kind of pretty wide apart, because you feel like there might be a bit more range you can get. That's fine. Okay. So the closer your hands are together, the harder it's going to be. But you can play around with that range. Awesome. And then come on up. Now you're going to fold the towel to make it nice and skinny. And you have two options. So you can either sit like so, sit in a chair also, but just make sure that your spine is nice and tall. And for some of you, you might not even need the towel, but essentially you're going to use it to bring one hand over your head, let the towel kind of hang, the other hand reaches behind and grab the towel. So the top arm's going to bend, and the bottom arm's going to bend. Okay? And it's going to look like so. Okay? So with my left hand here, I'm pulling my right arm down and back. Okay? And I'm keeping my head back in space. Okay? And then you can slowly start to choke up on the towel here. You should feel a nice opening in your shoulders. And for some of you, you might say, I don't really need the towel, I can just grab my fingertips. That's fine. Okay, so I know that my other side is a bit more limited and I'm going to need a towel. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Arm goes up, hand grabs the towel, pull your face and head back in space. I'm going to turn around. Have your spine nice and tall, and then only when your body says, okay, I can handle a little bit more, then start to go up, or go closer to each other. And if it says no, then just stay and breathe in a spot that feels like you're doing something, but still comfortable. And then you can slowly release. All right, so that was the first part of the towel series. Like I said, it was mostly range of motion, but joints and muscles and ligaments and tendons love to be moved. Your body is made to move. So this is a nice start to it. And stay tuned for next week, which is we're going to add a little bit more different techniques to create more strength and power in your emotions using the towel again. So I'll be back. Bye.